Hey everybody, my name's Tim and I'm going to do a video on basically not the complete install of the Clayton Long Arm system, but you know, from my perspective and how hard was it, what did I need to do, any modifications I had to do, would I recommend it, how do I like it, what do I like best about it, what do I don't like about it. But I heard about Clayton off-road about 4 years ago. Came back from an off-road trip. I live in Illinois. Came back from an off-road trip. I think it might have been Arkansas, and I really wanted to kind of take it to the next level with my Jeep. So I purchased one about 3 years ago. It's been sitting in my garage for a while, just trying to figure out, when do I want to do it. I had to order some tires because of the offset and stuff, but basically I have a 2014 JKRU. We put on a AEV lift. It was a 3.5, and then I bought a used 4.5 inch springs from AEV as well from another guy, and I've been really happy with the AEV system. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I would definitely highly recommend the AEV system. It's a great system, great ride. I've been able to do a ton of things, but as things kind of go on, you kind of want to test a couple things, and you want a better ride, you want a little bit more articulation, you just want more, basically. Everybody knows that about Jeep people. So waited about 3 years, put it on, kind of studied exactly what I needed to do, and kind of wore out my AEV system as much as I possibly could. I've had it for about 6 years, and it was still running good, no question. But like I said, wanted to try something new. So I'm going to kind of explain a couple things that first thing first is, this is a Clayton Long Arm system right here. The people at Clayton are excellent with how they handle everything, from customer service to some questions that I had. Just the quality of service that they provide you will far exceed what you normally get. These are real people. So that, first of all, customer service was one of the things I wanted to highlight. The other thing was, when I ordered the system, the quality of parts that came in were top-notch. Very heavy duty. This is definitely not your mommy's lift. This is a big kid's lift. Quality product, very well done, very precision quality, and it came powder coated. Everything came, there was no missing parts, nothing. So the box came in, did the checklist, nothing, there was no issues with it. So that was a nice thing. Sometimes you order product and you're missing stuff. There was not one thing missing on this. I think they might have double checked or triple checked. But the third thing was, what is this gonna take to do? And in their instructions, there's really good detail of what's gonna kind of take place. I mean, there's maybe 10 pages here, but in reality it's very easy read. And if you're doing a long arm kit and you have some basic knowledge about lifts, this kit is going to be easy to install. You might think, oh wow, there's a lot to do, but there's only two things that I've had to I guess work a little bit. And when I say work, it took a little bit of time. When you work with Jeeps, everything's kind of hit and miss sometimes, but the biggest thing that I had to do was take off the gas tank. I removed the gas tank from the JKU, and that took some time. Nothing crazy, but it definitely took some time. The second thing that required a little bit of work was cutting off the control arm brackets. That took some time, but once it's done, I was lucky. I have a plasma cutter, grinder, cutting wheel, and relatively knocked it out relatively quick. Those are the only two difficult things in this entire build. So you think about, you purchasing $1,500 or $2,000 for a regular kit, when you can go long arm and take your Jeep to another step. I just want to make sure and make you feel confident that, it is a little bit more work, but once you overcome those two things, I would highly recommend getting a long arm system, especially from Clayton, and I'll explain more why Clayton, my own personal feelings. So what I'm running on my Jeep, 2014 JKRU Rubicon. I have been running a AEV 3.5-inch lift for a while. 2 years ago, I got new springs from a friend who had 4.5-inch AEV springs. I just love the ride quality of AEV springs and what I can do to flex, and just the quality of it is really done right. They've done a good job tuning them shocks for the JKs, but I also run Rock Sport shocks in front, the long travel, with running Rock Sport shocks in the back. I just ordered those yesterday, long travel for the rears, and those are from Metal Cloak. But I have Poison Spider almost everywhere around except for my rear bumper. I have an AEV tire carrier with the 10-gallon gas tank with a 37-inch tire. So in terms of the weight quality or weight amount, I just want to kind of give you a perspective of how much I'm carrying or what's on. I have a couple skids underneath, a lot of the stock skids that came with it, but engine, trans skid, I have those sitting there just ready to be installed. Took them off. The other thing I would recommend is, when I heard about Clayton, I did some research. I started surfing the web a little bit and found on YouTube there was a gentleman called Wu Pow Off-Road. He has an excellent visual video of the install. I would highly recommend looking at his video. He has a part 1, part 2. He also goes into the Clayton armor underneath. That's really well done. I could definitely give him some credit for kind of getting that big picture for me, and kind of setting the mark in terms of what I'm looking to do, what do I would need to do from the beginning. So I definitely want to shout out to him. Wu Pow Off-Road, great video. I would definitely recommend watching his videos to look at the install. I really want to talk about the ride quality and kind of make you guys kind of put yourself in my shoes in terms of the quality of it. So the biggest thing I noticed from going to, and this is just street, right? I haven't off-roaded with it yet. I just got the system just finished last week. I'm going to be going to Windrock, Tennessee in October. I've already been there before, so this is really going to give me a chance to see what I could do in terms of comparison. But same setup, same tires, same everything. So that'll kind of give me a little bit comparison, like I said. But the street quality is unbelievable. When I say unbelievable, everybody's going to say, well, yeah, no duh, you're going from long arm, you're spending that kind of money. Well, if you want a better ride, you can go with long arm. I can definitely recommend that. The first thing that I noticed, and a lot of my friends have noticed, was the body roll. The body roll is very, very, very little. Before with AEV and even their systems, there's a couple of my Jeep friends that have the Game Changers and Metal Cloak, and I rode in theirs, and they rode in my AEVs and stuff. But with theirs and AEVs, you're kind of a little bit floaty. It's not bad if you like it, but the precision of the steering and the position of the body roll, the lack of the body roll, and also the quality of when you hit a bump. It's you're gonna feel the bump, but it's less. So if you're looking for a good, smooth, quality ride, I would definitely recommend this. The first thing I did was remove the Crossmember, the stock Crossmember. I had a Poison Spider Crossmember already there. As many of you guys know, the stock one is really weak and thin. So I removed my Poison Spider Crossmember, and then this freed this up. I have a video on this replacement right here by the cat, by the muffler system that I had to do. That was really easy. But as you can see, there's the control arm brackets. Cut them off. It doesn't have to be pretty. Painted it on my merry way. Once I did that, I installed their Crossmember. Very high quality, very heavy duty, very precise. I'm going to lay a bead of weld right here to kind of tighten it up, but this was really easy. Once I did that, I put the lower arms in, set to their specs, and then I put the uppers in. I need to still put some armor that I have laying. I haven't installed the armor yet, but pretty easy. The instructions that Clayton Off-Road gives you are relatively a good reference point. The next thing I did was obviously I dropped the gas tank. Had a couple friends come over and they helped me out with that. I would recommend getting a couple people for that. The next thing we did was we cut off the brackets, the rear brackets, and welded on the ones that Clayton provided, which are very heavy duty, very good quality. Put those in, went in pretty easy. One thing I want to talk about, that's something that is not Clayton's fault at all. This is my research, and you know, these are things that you're going to come across that you're going to find out with what system you have. So I have a Poison Spider rock rail. I had to do some cutting around this. I would recommend looking at what you have, so you kind of know ahead of time. I knew I had to do this, but I had to cut it twice. But I went with welding it. I did not want to bolt on it. Bolt a little too much time. Well, I have a welder, you can knock some beads out. This cross member that holds the arms, pretty massive, pretty heavy duty. Just bolted to torque specs. It went in very easy. Nothing too crazy, a little bit of muscle. I am gonna weld it though to the frame, clean it up a little bit and then weld it in. But everything went in really relatively easy and straight. Very good product by Clayton. Definitely recommend it. Hey everybody, we replaced the loop delete downpipe. The directions said to cut it from here 3 1/4. We probably had to cut it 4 1/4 just for this to get in. We cut off the control arm brackets
from the frame and then painted it. But this was relatively easy. Just cut a little bit more than the instructions say, or just measure it just in case, you know, they fabbed it different. But went on pretty easy, very simple, good design, good product, good quality.
Hi everybody, this is the passenger rear arms, upper and lower. One thing I definitely recommend is this gas tank. I removed the gas tank, and one of these arms here that bolt to the frame, I kind of cut it, and I cut it pretty deep back in there. But then when we mounted the actual gas tank in, I needed to, it still dragged on this bolt back here. So I would recommend, if you're going to cut this, kind of go far back into it. You can kind of see where it's at, because that'll allow you to clear that bolt and make the install a lot easier. I wish I would have done that a little bit more deeper, but